Now we got a dictator by the name of Mike Sulimon, who is disgraceful.
We should be able to at least vote, choose whomever, could be any of you, and then Suleiman can say yay or nay. But to take away our rights, and if Michael Suleiman gets away with this shenanigans, it's going to be worse for you down the line. That's just the reality. Michael Suleiman obviously bought and sold. We get that.
We have a corrupt mayor, so we don't have to get behind the chair.
To Michael Suleiman.
So call your friends and let them know that the chairman and whoever tells them they have to vote this way, that they need to stop being brainwashed. They need to change their mindset. We talk about Republicans, and we talk about how Donald Trump was this narcissistic person who had no respect or authority for anyone but himself. But when we have it here within our own party, we need to address that as well, because it's just like Bakari Stella said on CNN. It's not until your friends and your peers start telling you that you're doing something wrong until something will change. So we as Democrats need to say things and be upfront with our friends and our peers. Whether we agree with the person that they choose or not, we need to respect the process and respect the institution that so many people have died for. And I'm out, Chairman. Thank you.
What's happening with Marty Small is that it seems like everything's about Mr. Small, and he forgot about the people of Atlantic City. We were supposed to get full-time regular jobs and making sure everyone was taken care of. Vote Tech was taken out of the city of Atlantic City, was over at Indiana Avenue School. We all remember that. Now it's out in Mays Landing with a very limited capacity. And that's the type of thing that has to stop. We have to start training all of our people in Atlantic City, especially the young, to give them a chance to at least have a career. Marty has been there over 17 years. Now he says, give him another chance and he'll get things done. He's been there 17 years. The chances are over. Training, 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 and jobs, jobs, jobs is what I'm all about. I believe that we need to get our people into Vote Tech, open up that Vote Tech school. I'm glad they're expanding it, but they have to have somewhere in Atlantic City where they can teach the type of trades that we need.
What we need to do is be reinvesting into our children to get a stronger education process to make sure that they learn the right things to do. Have the trades organization, like Mr. Foley had said before, re-engage in the city to teach kids how to be electricians, how to be plumbers and what have you, and then apply them to the housing crisis that we seem to have in our city with so many abandoned homes. We can develop these homes alone and then sell them off to a rate that's manageable for people who are employed. Don't just tell me it's lighting. They keep our areas dark to make it scary.
I think that it is absurd that in the state of New Jersey, because of the design of the ballot, the county chairs of any given party get to give such a significant boost to whatever candidate they so choose. And I'll also point out, look at the bylaws for any county party throughout the state of New Jersey. You will never find a situation where it says explicitly that a Democratic vote is required in order to receive the line. That is a problem. It is a problem when democracy does not decide who is supported and who gets through the primary. I personally support the idea of county committees, municipal committees endorsing candidates that they support and that carries through. I do not support the idea of a county line that gives 35% of the vote share from the get-go on placement alone, allowing for one individual within that party to have that power to decide who gets to be the candidate in the general election. And frankly, this ballot design, because of its complications, also disenfranchises people. This is something I forgot to mention earlier. Last year, 2020 primary, there was a blank spot in the U.S. Senate because Cory Booker decided to bracket with Bridget Callahan Harrison. Because of that blank spot on the ballot, we had 20% of primary voters who did not vote in the Senate election in Atlantic County. 20% of people essentially throw away their Senate vote because of the design of the ballot. In Mercer County, there were two candidates running for the same position on the county line. Two candidates for one position. There was a 33% overvote voting for both people in that race in Mercer County. As a result, those 33% of people had that vote thrown out for Congress. There should not be a way that design of a ballot throws your vote away. It is absurd. It is unacceptable. It is not democratic, small d democratic. I just wanted to point out there that these issues are real and they're unique to New Jersey. And I stand with Atlantic City in standing up to an unjust system that robs people of their votes. I hope that I've made my case well enough that you understand that this ballot design, which the county clerk has the ability to change under Title 19, Section 49, subsection 2, that this ballot design is something that we cannot keep if we care about democracy and if we want to support every single person's vote in the end. New Jersey is the only state in the country that uses what's called the county line ballot structure. I call it an incomplete spreadsheet. Frankly, it's not very user-friendly. People who are voting tend to just vote straight down the line and not look at anybody else on the ballot because that's just what they've been conditioned to do. It seems like it's the right thing that you're supposed to do. I've talked to a lot of people who, during a primary, will say, oh, I'm voting for the Democrats. Well, yeah, we know it's a primary. Of course you're voting for the Democrats, but which ones? Oh, well, the Democrats, you know, the one line. People don't realize, because of the confusing ballot design, the incomplete spreadsheet, that the other candidates are people you can vote for too. You don't have to stick just to the one line. And what it comes down to also, as I think Atlantic City knows rather well, is that the power of the line brings with it substantial vote share. A study was done by Julia Sass-Rubin, a professor at the Blaustein School of Public Policy and Planning through Rutgers, that found that 35%, there is a 35% vote swing on ballot placement alone with a county line ballot system. That is severe. That is extreme. And if you don't have the right connections to get that ballot line, you're screwed. You have to fight that much harder to try to win your election. Inevitably, it is the county chair of any given party in any given county to decide who gets the county line. Under my county clerkship, I will change our ballot to a simple ballot that's called an office block ballot. It's what the rest of the country uses. It puts the office that the person is running for at the top, lists everybody running for that office, and that's that. You have a ballot that is lists and it's simple. Nobody is being left out. Nobody is being left out of the conversation. No candidate is losing the eyes of the voters to one section of the ballot. I think that this is the most appropriate way. And one last thing I want to say on that is this ballot structure that we use, because of the power distribution and how the county chairs get to decide who has the preferential ballot placement, that 35% vote share. We have county chairs throughout the state on both sides of the aisle that are predominantly male and predominantly white. When we have that power in those people's hands, inevitably, the people who end up getting those ballot positions tend to be white, older men, frankly. That is why our government in the state of New Jersey is not as representative as it ought to be.
That's why it seemed to be this overwhelming battle back and forth between races. And it's always, let's be honest, a battle between races. And when that battle between races takes place, everyone who is not within those groups gets left behind. It's a battle of who can manipulate what race versus the other, and it's a race battle, and it's a shame. It's shameful. That clique nonsense is what's tearing us apart. If it's not one thing and another. One thing I will say that I've learned during this time period of having 45 as our president is that when we have one demon, one evil, we seem to band together. And we can band together against the evils that we have in front of us if we understand that we're all in this together.